On the day after Christmas, I took my 90-year-old mother to see The Color Purple in Greenville, North Carolina. The outing was a gift to my mother, who is scheduled to receive North Carolina's highest prize for public service this coming weekend for helping to integrate public schools in the state in the 1960s. intv amanpour William Barber _000435009.jpg. William J. Barber II. CNN. Our trip to the movie was also a gift to me. I do not know how many more years I have left with my mother. These times are precious, and I was grateful to be back home in eastern North Carolina to enjoy this movie together with her. Unfortunately, our plans were interrupted when the manager of the local AMC theater chose to call the police rather than accommodate my disability. For more than 30 years now, I have suffered from a form of arthritis called ankylosing spondylitis. I walk with 2 canes, and I have to have an assistant carry a tall chair with me everywhere I go because my hip is fused and I cannot bend to sit in a low chair. When I was disabled by this disease as a young man, I battled a serious depression. I feared I would have to live out the remainder of my days in a nursing home bed. But my mother, a pianist, came to the hospital and played hymns while a team of doctors and therapists and swim coaches and prayer warriors joined together to help me see that, though my body was broken, I could learn a new way of moving in the world. Looking back, I now understand that my public ministry has been shaped by an attentiveness to the vulnerable that I might have never appreciated had I not become vulnerable myself. At a press conference on Friday to address a dispute over seating at a North Carolina movie theater, Bishop William Barber, 60, said the situation with theater staff should have never escalated and said he believed the incident was a violation of his 14th Amendment rights. Civil rights leader says AMC workers ignored his disability when they kicked him out of a North Carolina movie theater. Today, I teach students who are preparing for ministry at Yale Divinity School. I tell them they must work hard to understand the Bible, theology, history, and pastoral practice if they are to take up the ministry of Jesus, but I also teach them there is no way to follow Jesus without learning to pay attention to the people who are broken and vulnerable in society. Whatever you did to the least of these, Jesus says in the Gospel of Matthew, you did it unto me. If the image of God is in every person, theology teaches that we miss something of the truth about God if any person is excluded. This isn't only a Christian value, it is a foundational principle of America's experiment in democracy. The promises of liberty and equality rest on a shared commitment to let every voice be heard, a democratic practice that requires accommodations for the differently abled. Though it took centuries for the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, to become law, it built on the 14th Amendment's provision of equal protection under the law to guarantee public accommodations to all people under Title III. The United States does not make these accommodations only as a concession to the demands of those who protest. We commit to it as a people because we believe we are better with the contributions of those who might otherwise be excluded. United States, June 23, Bishop William J. Barber II speaks at the Moral March on Manchin and McConnell, a rally held by the Poor People's Campaign, calling on them to eliminate the legislative filibuster and pass the For the People voting rights bill outside the Supreme Court in Washington on Wednesday, June 23, 2021. Photo by Caroline Brayman/CQ Roll Call, Inc. via Getty Images. AMC Theaters apologizes after civil rights leader says he was kicked out of a North Carolina movie theater. When the manager of the AMC theater told me I could not use the chair that allows me to participate in public life, saying it was not a wheelchair, I did not challenge her simply because I wanted to see a movie with my mother. I challenged her because I know that I have carried this same chair to lecture halls and pulpits across this country, to meetings at the White House and on Capitol Hill. If I cannot sit in my chair at a theater in Greenville, North Carolina, then I know there are thousands of other people who will be excluded from public spaces in this nation. And I know what that feels like, too, to not be able to join my family for an outing or to attend a meeting because a space is not accessible.